Keep the illusion and innocence despite bad experiences. Each time you go through a negative experience, chances are you add another layer of distrust. You lose the freshness that comes from observing, exploring, and experiencing something new every day. You lose sight of the beauty that surrounds you. Feeling pain and going through tough situations is inevitable. It's part of growing up, just like keeping hope every day to give meaning to everything that happens to you. When you peel away the painful layers that have made you build a shield around yourself, you start to see the world with fresh eyes again. Fresh eyes that observe and appreciate the wonderful things hidden behind a sunrise, a hug, or a smile. There is this part of the book that says, keep the innocence and illusion despite the bad experiences. And that's something that touched me really deeply because I feel like I lost my illusion and my innocence again after working and living on boats. It was such a fast-paced environment, and people who work at sea in general are cold, sharp, kind of aggressive when they speak. People will go to the point straight away, which it's okay. It's where it's every environment is different. I accept the rules and I accept that environment was like that and I stayed, so I cannot blame on anyone. But because people will be so abrupt I wasn't used to that, so I felt attacked so many times that I would, as I talked before, I would put a wall just to protect myself from any future attacks. I will be constantly trying to protect myself. So in a sense, having to deal with people who were very straight to the point, and if they have to yell at me, they will yell at me straight away without sugarcoating anything, was good in a sense, in the way that I develop thick skin. But also it was really bad in a way because I absolutely buried my inner child somewhere, and after that I would never find that inner child again. Now I'm slowly, thanks to life, having a more slow paced life, and I am actively nurturing my inner child, reconnecting, and I am trying to connect a lot with my feminine energy, and that way I feel I'm more I'm softer, and I stop feeling like, now that I nurture myself, now I feel like I'm not a stranger inside my own body anymore, and that is absolutely beautiful. And finally, healing my inner child, and it's a lot of active work and effort and a lot of talking with my therapist, but it's definitely making me feel finally authentic, more authentic. I'm nowhere near what I want to be, but I feel more authentic, and I feel that my identity is stronger than it had ever been. Welcome to my channel, thanks for being here, and in this video I will be talking all about the biggest lessons I took from the book The Little Prince, or like we call it in Spanish, El Principito. This book is a reflection on themes like identity, loneliness, friendships, and the meaning of life. So it's very short, it's super entertaining and really and easy to read. So if you have some time, I really highly recommend you to get it. This is, of course, not a sponsorship or anything. I love this book. I've read it like probably 20 times in my life, and it's also amazing for kids. Know yourself and you will understand others better. Understanding yourself is harder than judging others. It's easy to complain about the world and how we want it to be, but we should ask, what changes can I make to be better? When you know who you are and commit to being better every day, you are ready to help and share love with others. There are no good or bad people. There are human beings who do what they can as best as they know how, with what they have received. You can't give what you don't have, so it's important to nurture your love. When you understand yourself, you understand others too. Many, like you, want completeness. However, not everyone seeks it through the most accurate path. But undoubtedly, failed experiences will serve us to better understand ourselves and the mistakes of others. The essential is invisible to the eyes. This might sound impossible, but remember that we can transcend this world of appearances, because the important things are those that cannot be seen or quantified, like love, kindness, generosity, and friendships. I know it's such a cliche, but really, it's the truth of life. It's the little things, the ones we often overlook, that hold the most beauty. Material things are ephemeral, and valuing our lives by the possessions we accumulate will undoubtedly lead us towards continuous suffering. Possessions come and go, but love and kindness have the power to shape the world. Our eyes might trick us, but not our heart. The heart is capable of distinguishing one rose among a thousand. We must look beyond appearances. We must value things for what they really are, and not for what they seem to be. I really like this phrase that says, the essential is invisible to the eyes. So, I don't know, I guess, like, if we all may have experiences with this, like, I remember I was much younger, and there was this guy on the class, and I was in university, and he was shy, he wouldn't say anything, but I was absolutely magnetized to him. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I cannot stop looking at him, or it was like, and when I told my friends, they were like, what the hell, like, he's such a weirdo, he doesn't speak to anyone, he's like, what are you talking about, like, really, you like him? And I'm like, well, I don't know if I like him, but there is something that makes me feel absolutely like magnetized to him. And so yeah, the thing is, like, I keep having this feeling like, wow, like, I need to know about this guy. I need to know. So I invited him out. Oh, it's funny. And he accepted. So we went, like, I used to live on my own by then, and like invited him to my apartment, but I didn't want it to, like, sleep with him or any at all. It was just like, let's just chat, or so I had this perception that he was so cool behind this not so interesting way he was portraying himself. Like, I was sure there was something behind. And yeah, it was like, when we were alone, we could not stop talking, and we have a lot in common. And yes, it was super cool. And we see each other a few times. We start sitting next to each other in class, in that specific class, because we were not doing all classes together. But we started kind of a small friendship, and I felt so comfortable around him. But it wasn't the kind of person who I would have been, oh, I like this guy. It was something I could not describe because it wasn't in the way he looked that attracted me, his aura, his energy, something. So this phrase reminds me right away to that guy, like the essential is invisible to the eyes. Sometimes we are so caught on, we look this way and the way we look speaks so much about us, and it's not like that. It really is not like that. And a lot of times people don't give us chances, or we don't give chances to a lot of people just for an aesthetical judgment. Anyways, then with this guy, after like I've been always been like a world traveler, and I planned a 4 months, I think, was trip backpacking with my best friend at that time. So then because of that, I traveled. I never see him again, but I was so happy that I gave myself the chance to get to know him, and I was terrified to invite him out, and he was terrified too. But at the end, we, I don't know, ended up knowing that we were way more compatible than what we thought we were. Like, I was all outspoken, like he was so shy. It looked like no, but it was so, we will flow, and that's it. Love is not just about looking at each other feeling something special, but about looking together in the same direction. Love is something shared between two people, and this special union loses meaning and strength when there is no reciprocity. When one falls behind, it's the other person who carries all the weight, and that's how the relationship ends up being destroyed. For both people to walk in the same direction, guided by the strength of love, it's necessary to share life projects. Sharing happiness, bad moments, experiences, and common interests gives strength, energy, and vitality to two souls who are on a journey together. There is a quote from The Little Prince that says, "It was the time you spent with your rose that made it so important." It means that the relationships and affections are cultivated over time, and that's what makes them valuable to us. This makes us reflect on the importance of dedicating time, good quality time, to the things we love, and on the responsibility of being consistent in our relationships, whether they are friendships, family, or love. Relationships just become valuable when we spend time nurturing them. Love is built little by little through working together. Have the courage to uncover the real person behind the facade. People often focus too much on the appearances, but venturing to deeply understand someone is the way to find their true essence, their most genuine beauty. To achieve this, it's necessary to skip prejudice and be open to getting to know the other person without judging them based on what we already know. Reaching love is only possible if there's a chance to know and understand others. The loss of connections. Men no longer have time and interest to get to know each other. This is the harsh reality of industrialized society. Within it, communication, daily life, and values progress towards loneliness among thousands of people. On this book, The Little Prince, the writer highlights the importance of human interactions, and actually we as creatures have been born to be social. That's where we can thrive. But I will be talking a little bit about myself having some issues because I have this tendency lately to self-isolate myself. Sorry for the repetition. Okay, So the thing is this, I've moved to where I live now 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and that's when my daughter was like 6 months old. So for the first part, I was like a new mom. I had no time off at all to go and to meet new people in this new country where I moved with my boyfriend and my daughter. So yes, I absolutely love and adore to interact with my daughter, who now is 2 years and a half, and with my boyfriend. But aside them and some members of my family, like my sister and my mom, but they live in different countries. So it's not like, but when it comes to go out there and meet new friends, I don't find the interest. I get bored easily. I planned these outings with people, and when I'm there, I get bored easily, and I start thinking to myself, when this is finishing, I want to go home, or it's not flowing, as I wish. So I really love when I have encounters with people in the city where I live, but like random encounters, because in general I always go out with my daughter, so maybe she clicks with a kid and I start talking to the parents, or I see someone I know, because from the neighborhood, familiar faces, and we start talking. Those interactions, I absolutely love it. But as soon as I'm starting to organize something and I feel it's forced, like my mind play games with me, and I don't enjoy it. So this is a recurring topic that is coming to my sessions with my therapist. And yes, basically I will title it like, I am struggling to finding motivation to get along or to meet friends. Even though I'm talking about this, also I want to say that for the sake of my daughter, I always, like, she's a priority, and I love when I want her to have strong social connections, interactions. So every time there's a birthday, I'm invited somewhere, I always go and I start to talk to people, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to be here for 4 hours, 5 hours, I'm not going to be like this in a corner. So I really make a massive effort and start talking to people and asking them questions. And it doesn't really look at all like I'm struggling. But in my mind, I have all these, like, what I'm going to ask next, who I'm going to talk next, and blah, blah, blah. Which I think is kind of normal though. But then if it's not like because of my daughter, I think I will be so much more isolated. The thing is, like, in the beginning, when my daughter was a baby, I was extremely busy trying to, cater to her needs, and she was getting sick quite a lot. But now she's becoming super independent. She goes to the toilet alone. She's just like, she has friends in in kindergarten, so she loves to go. And now I start having free time to, yes, finally, go and meet people. And yes, I'm not really doing it much. Maybe you feel in a similar place, or maybe not at all. So anyways, if you have anything to say, any advice, please write it down below in the comments. I will definitely read them. I would like to say, before keep on talking, that before moving to a different country, I was working for a bit like 10 years on boats, traveling around the world. And this has been that, like, working on boats is such a fast-paced environment where everything changes constantly. And I met people, but like I'm not in contact with any of all those people I met on different yachts. I felt like everything was so quick. People were coming, going, people were resigning because maybe someone lost a grandma and wanted to go home. Someone gets sick and resign, and I would never see these people before. So I get used to see all these people disappearing from around. Some people were leaving the boat where I was working because they will get better options somewhere else. So people don't last very long working on the same boat. Some people were getting bored of the itinerary. They wanted to travel more exotic destinations. So I start feeling like, well, people will just come and go. So I started detaching from relationships a bit, like, yes, I will enjoy here right now, we can have a lot of fun, go out, but I'm not committing emotionally to this because who knows how long it's going to last. Probably not much. So that serves me in the way, serves the purpose of not getting heartbroken a lot. So I was just, but when I decided to not get attached to relationships and friendships, I win in a sense that helped me to be functional at work and to, no matter who was coming and going, I was solid and I had my routine and I will be, like very good at my job. But of course, at that point, I didn't know this was a bad habit. And which brings me to having problems right now to socialize and meet people because I still have in my subconscious mind that I don't have to get attached to friends. They will come and go, they won't stay. I want to add something else to my isolation discussion, and it's that so there is this Russian lady I met, and she has a daughter, and I don't know, we I think saw each other a few times, went to the beach together with our daughters, and then it started, like, it's not a friendship, but it started to progress, right? And the other day she told me, "Oi, I have a lot of things to give away. Would you like this motorcycle for your daughter and this bicycle?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, actually, it will be great for my daughter because now she's 2 years and a half. She's in the age she can start enjoying those things." So we got her together. I went to her house. I park wrong and I knew I parked wrong, but I'm like, nothing is going to happen. So I don't know, I was in her house for a few hours, and then when I left, we went to the car to put the motorcycle and the things she gave me, and I saw this thing in the window of my car, a fine ticket, like a 200 euros for parking in a wrong spot, which I knew it was a wrong spot, but I thought it was all right, right? So what I like to say with this is, like, I can speak a lot about theory, psychology, mental health, human mind, but this is an accurate real life example of me self-sabotaging myself. Why? Because I am a productive person, right? So if I'm working, if I'm making money, if I'm being productive, if I'm cleaning the house, if I'm doing chores, if I'm doing any of these things, then I feel I'm doing something purposeful and I feel good and I feel great. But as soon as it comes the time to enjoy, to relax, to be there, going to see like a mate and sit in a couch and maybe talk 3 hours about nothing relevant, just chatting, I feel I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my hours. I should be there doing something else more important, more urgent. That's how powerful our minds are, right? My subconscious mind, it's telling me with this ticket 200 euros. You know, you shouldn't have been there. Now you wasted 200 euros. You fucking go home and start working and make this money. This is self-sabotage in real life, right? This is how I punish myself for enjoying time off with someone. So this is how we human minds put traps in our way. We put stones in our way to not let us evolve, right? So when I got that ticket, I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have come here. I should have stayed home. But of course, that's not the answer. The answer is like, I knew I was parking wrong and I knew it was a wrong spot. And I came here just to have fun. So which would have been the problem, taking maybe 10 more minutes, 15 minutes to find a place where I could park correctly, right? I did it to myself. And yes, that's what I wanted to talk about this, how we are at times our worst enemies. And these signs are for us, things like this, to realize that we are doing this just to ourselves. No one else is against us as much as we can be. I want to start enjoying doing nothing. I want to start enjoying being 15 minutes in the couch, not hearing voices, not watching anything in my phone, not like nothing, doing the absolute nothingness without feeling I'm wasting my time, without feeling guilty. That's a goal I have, and I'm bringing consciousness to this goal to start enabling myself to enjoy without feeling guilty for it. We should ask each person to do what they are capable of. This phrase sums up the popular quote from Albert Einstein. If you judge a fish by its ability to climb trees, it will live its whole life believing it's useless. This suggests that asking for too much only causes pain and unhappiness for ourselves and others. It's not healthy to ask someone to do something that is beyond their capability. We should only ask each person for what they can give. This is a phrase that speaks about the importance of kindness in power. When we fall in love, we give power to the person we love. And it's wise for that person not to take advantage of that situation. Similarly, when someone falls in love with us, they give us power. And if we take advantage of that power, then it shows what kind of people we are. He was just a fox like 100,000 others. But I made him my friend, and now he is unique in the world. This phrase illustrates a simple yet powerful thought. A person becomes unique among millions when they reach the mind and heart of another. That's when someone becomes special. The little prince asks a greedy man, "Why do you want to own all the stars in the sky?" "Well, it serves me to be rich." "And what's the purpose of being rich?" "Well, it serves me to buy more stars." The futility of greed and using money to attain happiness are the key points of this conversation. Being rich to become richer, buying to buy more. This is how the uselessness of limitless accumulation is portrayed. Searching for love. Love is the engine that drives our lives and almost all our decisions. Friendship should be based on honesty because a friendship without truth would lose its real foundation. Any relationship that isn't built on real knowledge, but rather on false perceptions of reality, eventually collapses. Truth forms a solid foundation for our lives. You can't love what you don't know, and those who love always want to know more about their beloved. Loving the truth enables real love. Humans are meant to live with others, to to create bonds that lead to gratification and help others find satisfaction too. Friendship is essential for the fulfillment of the human soul. The search for truth becomes a search for love and a commitment to the truth of the loved one. Reality shines because of its truth, even if it's hidden. That's why everything is valuable based on what it is and what it hides. A desert is more than just a desert when you discover its wonders. I want to stop in this part that says, loving the truth enables real love. So, in my opinion, this means when we are in relationships, the people we get along the most, in general, sometimes we tend to like to see the good and stop there. But I think searching for the truth in relationships means getting to know the light side and the dark side of people, right? Everybody, and I think no one escapes from this, has negative feelings about others and negative thoughts, right, about others and about ourselves too. We criticize sometimes, we criticize people out loud, and sometimes without saying anything, we are criticizing inside, our own minds, others, like, God, why is he doing that? Why is she so loud? I can't stand this person, like sometimes we don't say it, but it's still a thought we are having. All of us, I guess, well, if someone doesn't, please let me know who you are. I want to get to know you. But we also hold prejudice. So every single person, has a great and not so great side. And getting to know someone truly means knowing the great, the good, and the not so good from others. In my opinion, that's what searching for the true in relationships really means. Going in a straight line won't get you very far. The only way to end up in a different place is to try new routes. This well-known quote from The Little Prince refers to trying different paths without being afraid of taking risks. Trying the same solution over and over again only leads to getting stuck in the same problem. I absolutely adore this book, The Little Prince, because it talks about a lot about this child that is a little prince, right? That is absolutely believes in life and it's kind of innocent and still has so much to discover. And I felt myself like at the absolute other side. I felt I did a lot, I traveled a lot, I met a lot of people, I've been stabbed in my back so many times that I felt like I've seen it all and it's not so great. Most people are mean, so why even trying, like it's going to end up the same way. So I felt I lost hope, and when I read this book it makes me realize how far I am from the person I used to be, that person full of like, let's go, let's, trust on life and everything. And now when I see myself more as a serious adult, with all these obligations, and I felt I lost contact with my inner child. And I know that doesn't make anything good for me. Like I notice certain rigidness, certain like I'm tough sometimes when I wasn't like this before. And I know again this sort of facade that I put helped me a lot to in the workspace and helped me a lot to gain a lot of money, but it's not needed for me anymore to wear this facade. I'm at a different stage of my life where I don't prioritize earning money and I don't prioritize work like horse anymore. I prioritize my family, my relationship with my boyfriend. So it's time to let like the guard or the wall start falling down and enable myself to enjoy, stop feeling, guilty when I'm having time off, when I'm relaxing, when I'm feeling pleasure, and start slowly to let myself enjoy the big things, the little things. But I used to be tough. When you're tough, even if you rest 5 minutes, you feel like you're doing wrong. It should not be wasting 5 minutes, etc. So yeah, that's why I find I have such a deep connection with this book, because in a sense I feel like it's the opposite as me, and always I think extremes are never good. So now I have to shift gradually to a middle point between, of course, what I read, what I sense from this book, all these little child, innocent, believing people, and find a middle point between who I am now, who is more like a rigid person, who is ready in case someone attacked me. I need to relax. So that's why I found this book super, super helpful and nice. If you make it this far, I highly recommend you to check this other video where I explain you how to become absolutely magnetic. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.